Oh, hey, it's been a while. I'm sorry about that. After I made my last upload, I turned my PC on to actually discover a corrupted drive, and of course, I wasn't backing anything up. At the time, that actually kind of killed my motivation to make Let's Play videos, and that's why even after my PC did get fixed, you didn't really see any uploads. But that's only because in the background, I've been busy. Over 3 years ago, when I started this channel, I posted a This Is Me video. It's delisted right now because I need to update it and make a new one, but in that video, I mentioned how there were some other things in the works. Well, you're here, you've seen the channel rebrand. I learned how to make games. Immediately following the kerfuffle with my PC, I decided to go back to school to chase my childhood dream of becoming a game dev. And I'm extremely proud to say that after literal years of effort, I graduated, and by decree of my degree, I am technically a game designer. I'd like to make something kind of clear though. While I have made dozens of micro games, until I make a fully playable game, it's kind of hard for me to personally refer to myself by that title. So let's change that. Starting today, I plan to release monthly devlogs talking about what I'm working on, from the bigger project, more on that in a minute, to mini or micro games that I may be making on the side.
Hi, future me here. I just want to jump in really quick. I originally meant to upload this video on December 1st, but I had some internet issues going on, so this video is actually going live 2 days later than I originally planned on.
The format of these devlogs should mostly be the same as this one. I may change some things from time to time though. However, this does mean that, at least for the time being, the Let's Play format will be retiring on this channel, at least outside of playtesting. Now, I also do want to kind of clarify that the bulk of my education was centered around game design. As for the actual development side of things, it's largely fallen on me to practice in my own time. So while I have grown way more comfortable with these elements, please feel free to offer any improvements or suggestions to any scripts I write or systems I build, or really anything else. I'm very much still learning these things too. The purpose of these devlogs is twofold. Of course, I'm showcasing my work, but I also want to show anyone that might be interested in game development that it's not as scary as it seems. Just slow down, take your time, break things into as small of pieces as possible, and most importantly, don't give up on yourself. Definitely give up on projects or methods, but we'll talk about that later. Before we get rolling on this month's devlog, I actually want to introduce you guys to the channel's new host.
Oh, hey, thank you so much. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, thank you.
Honestly, when it comes to making these videos, the biggest hitches in my pipeline, hey, can you not do that yet?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was supposed to, like, lip sync with you.
You are, but not, like, while I'm here too. It's a little confusing for the viewer.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Sorry.
It's okay. Recording in my closet of an apartment is just too much of a hassle. So for the foreseeable future, this friendly little guy will actually be the face of the channel. I may still pop in from time to time, but until I have a bit more space, I guess I'm wading into PNG tuber territory. Real quick though, before I do hand it over, I want to cover a few important things in person. First, here, you might want to get in a little close for this one. I'm remaking Sly, which one, the plan is all of them, but I think I need to cover a few bases first before I dig into it. First off, if I said Sly and your response was something like, what the heck is a Sly? Well, Sly Cooper, also known in some places as Sly Raccoon, was the main character of a trilogy of games produced by Sucker Punch Studios between 2003 and 2005. It was later given a fourth title, produced by
Sanzaru Games
in 2013. Up front, I do need to state I don't own the rights to the Sly IP, and I have had no contact with Sucker Punch, Sony Interactive, or Sanzaru Games yet. While all the assets I will be using will either be my own work or my artist's recreations, I do not own the rights to the imagery used as reference. With this, for the time being, I will not be releasing the game or its files just out of respect for the IP's owners. I have no intentions of monetizing this project whatsoever, and unless I'm given permission from Sony or Sucker Punch, I don't even really want to release it for free. I know that this might seem a bit extreme, but honestly, I'm doing this for personal practice in game development, a portfolio piece, and maybe, just maybe, to show Sucker Punch that they should consider either rebooting or recreating Sly, and maybe consider giving me a job too. The reason I'm choosing to remake a game at all really comes down to that development practice. I kept designing games with no idea how the advanced mechanics would work and kept quickly getting stuck. Everywhere I would turn, I kept getting the same advice as well, remake a favorite game. Well, Sly 2 and 3 were foundational in my dream of wanting to make games as a kid. There were some rough patches in my childhood, but no matter what was happening in the real world, I could escape for a few hours and become a stealthy acrobat, stealing for the greater good. I got to feel like Robin Hood, even when the real world made me feel like dirt. Those moments of escape helped me in ways I could never put into words, and as a child, I wanted nothing more than to provide somebody else with that escape when I got older. With that in mind, I couldn't think of a more fitting candidate for remake than the games that started it all for me. So on October 27th, I started working on Project Cooper, and the following is my recount of the first 14 days. So without further ado, this is Devlog 0.
Okay, jumping right into day one, I needed to get the base character, camera, and player inputs figured out. So right here, you can actually see that I have a visualization going on for the camera. So when the player actually jumps, the camera will hold its position until they actually land on either a lower or higher plane. Then the camera will shift to match them. When the player jumps, it actually tries to hold its position, and this is just to mimic the camera from the Sly games. Up here you can see that I actually needed to test and make sure what happens when the player falls. When they leave the bounds of the camera, the system actually activates and still tracks them. This system here, as you can see, is not exactly as performant as I would like it to be. I do have everything running on tick at the moment. Things do seem to be fine. It is a fairly light function, but maybe someday I will pull it off of tick. But generally speaking, whenever the player is airborne, I want you to hold the camera at its last position by setting the camera offset, and when they land, go ahead and actually update that position. Nothing too crazy going on here. Here you actually see that I have the player inputs, look, walk, move, jump, those things. I do have some custom logic on jump and on landed, in order to give the player that smoke poof effect that you see when they jump. Nothing too crazy, again, just spawning a simple Niagara particle effect. Here you can actually see that I have the functions in place for setting the camera shoulder and whether or not it is the new or old camera. But generally speaking, day one was quick and dirty, just had to get some simple things out of the way. Day two. So again, nothing super crazy today, but I needed to get an interact system in place for the player so they can do things like jump and push the circle button. Here, I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. As you can see, when the player pushes the interact button, some text pops up on screen showing that they interacted with it. It does just grab the closest interactable, separated between whether or not the player is in the air. Here we'll go ahead and open up the player blueprint, and you can see that I kind of cleaned some things up from the day prior. I just kind of packed things into functions and made things a little easier to read. Here you can actually see the first little bit of interact logic. So there's a collider around the player that when an object overlaps with it, it gets added to an array, and when the object leaves that collider, it will remove itself from the array as well. Over here, we'll go ahead and I believe it's down here. Yes, so this is the player interaction logic. Super simple stuff. It just it will check to see which the closest one is, and then it will run this function, which basically at the moment it just changes what its response is going to be depending on its object type. Right now I just have the tightrope and pocket responses right here. You can see nothing crazy yet there. They just print those messages to the screen that you saw. In the interactable, there is just a single response node that just sends over what its object type is and a reference of itself. In here, you can actually see the player interact response. This is what actually checks what is the closest interactable and sets those variables and runs the rest of the code. Yeah, again, nothing super crazy on day 2, just some more back-end stuff, but it's rolling. Okay, going into day 3, things get a little bit more exciting. As you can see over here, I started work on the actual tightrope mechanic. If you've played the Sly games, you know you can jump and push the circle button to land on tightropes and ninja spires and things like that. If you watch right there, there is a tiny bug where the player attaches, but then they actually can't move, but I addressed that after this day. For the time being, though, this is generally what the code kind of looks like. There's a lot going on here, but simply breaking it down, when the player interacts with it, they simply get launched towards the rope. The rope sets its midpoint location, roughly where the player is going to land, and then when the player overlaps with the midpoint, they're actually attached to it. Going on, they will, instead of using their normal movement logic, it gets passed on, so they actually just increment up and down the spline and stay attached to it. This is heavily based off of a video tutorial for a tightrope that I will actually link up above over here. Fantastic breakdown of the mechanic. I tweaked it and made it my own in certain ways, but if you want to get the base idea, definitely check that video out. Alright, day 4, a little bit of a mixed bag. First off, the recording had some issues, so you'll notice some black screens here and there. I'll skip them for you when the time comes. But right away, you'll notice that I actually went back to the Unreal Mannequin. I just needed to check and see how animations were responding to the tightrope. They did not respond correctly. But as you can see right here, I broke it. The player can no longer attach the tightrope. I did fix the bug and implemented the code to handle the movement along the tightrope, but something that I caused that I could not figure out during this day made it so the player could not launch and attach themselves to the tightrope. Let me skip some of this black screen. Right here, you actually can see a little bit of the player tightrope response. That's just what launches the player towards the tightrope itself. And then in here in the tightrope, a little peek at the construction script. This is just how I make the tightropes in editor. A little bit more going on actually in the tightrope. I've got some the actual movement logic down here. It's pretty simple stuff, just bound to the actual player inputs. There's an event dispatcher on the player. You can see up there my math spaghetti, just trying to figure out what was going on. Kind of a depressing day. After taking a short weekend, I came back to the problem to discover very quickly that I was looking in the wrong place altogether. I was able to get the tight ropes working, and as you can see, I actually added a simple sprint function to the game as well. But up here I will demonstrate for you. Bang! Fully functional tightrope. You can land on it, walk back and forth, the character rotates to face the direction. Even works on slopes. Today was a very productive day for me. Day 5 was a really good Monday. It was a good day to come back. Got all this working. It all looked really good. I think today was actually the first day I was like, wow, look, I'm doing stuff. And I sent out videos of what I was doing to some of my friends and got them excited too. Day 5 was a good day. In here you can actually see, I'll skim through the tightrope blueprint. Mostly the same. I did just tweak some stuff and got it actually working. Like I said, I had most of it already correctly in place the day before. I just forgot to basically set the flag that allows the character to interact with things to false by default. So the game thought that the character was always interacting and wouldn't let them interact again. Yay, game dev! That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Day 5. It was a great day. Good contrast to day 4, I would say. Day 6. Yeah. Ooh, look, a building. Honestly, day 6 is gonna be pretty boring. I forgot the day prior to take the time and put anything on my to-do list, so as you can kind of see here, I really just spent my time building out the testing area. While things do look a little bit nicer, functionally it did actually help. I discovered a whole handful of bugs on this day. There was... none of them I actually fixed, I just kind of wrote them down for the next day, but there was, I think, 6 different things that I found just running through this course throughout the day. This was also the first point that I actually exported a build real quick and got some super early playtesting on. Of course, I playtested through it. I had my partner playtest it. I sent it to a couple of my friends. Yeah, no, it was nothing too exciting. Functionally, on the back end, everything is exactly the same. I think maybe I tweaked some small variables here and there to make the jump and movement speed feel a little more correct. But generally speaking, day 6 was almost all aesthetic changes. So here right away, you might notice it looks like things are the same until we actually get close to the tight ropes up top here. But if you look and see on the ropes, there's actually a stealth aura effect. And you can see right there is a little bit of a bug. On this day, I spent most of my time in Niagara getting the actual particle effect to work and look how I wanted it to. Generally speaking, I don't have a ton of experience with Niagara yet, so it was a bit of an adventure, to say the least. But yeah, when the player approaches an interactable object, it will sparkle blue to let them know they can interact with it. At the end of this day, I just kind of had a static line effect. I didn't really have it customized yet. But it was functional, it looked good, I thought, and I felt like it was alright to achieve for a day 7. So going into this day, I can't remember if I had just come off of a weekend or if I just slept really good the night prior, but I jumped right into things and I hit the ground running. As you can see right here, there's 2 new things. The sphere, which we'll get explained in just a second, and I started the spire jumps. The sphere is the trace that's happening for the ledge grab. Super simple. I don't even have an animation or a pose for it, but if the player is falling close to an edge, they can grab it. The spire jump is largely just a repurposed tightrope. Most of the things in here are pretty much exactly the same. The main differences come down to the ability of not being able to move at this point. Even a lot of the meshes and stuff from the tightrope were still in place. I had not cut any of the extra fat yet. Looking into the actual player blueprint, we can see here, so some small changes there you got to see from the tightrope response. But we can check here into the ledge check function. This is just basically running a sphere trace, or a capsule trace, on the upper half of the player capsule whenever they are falling, or whenever they are falling with negative velocity, I believe was the conditions. At first, I did have that running on tick. As you can imagine, that caused some performance issues pretty quick, so I stuck it down, made some more like custom landing logic, and I have it running on a timer whenever the player is falling. From there, I do think that's largely all the changes that happened on this day. Just some smaller bug fixes as well, getting things a little more consistent. But again, another super productive day. So jumping right into day 9, I knew right away that I needed to finish out my spire jumps as well as tweak some things with the stealth aura. Let's go ahead and I will drop into my favorite spot so you can see everything lights up. And right here, a perfect ninja spire jump. I was so excited at this point. I officially had the epiphany that maybe I could actually do this. Right here you do see there is a little bug that happens. I actually did not get it in this recording, but whenever you miss, if you don't actually like attach to the point, you can no longer interact with things. I bring this up now because this bug would haunt me for several working days. But overall, day 9 was a really good day again. I didn't necessarily get a lot done, but it was a super duper encouraging day. Alright, jumping into day 10, I needed to get another basic but pretty important mechanic out of the way. Here's a little sneak peek for you there. But generally speaking, I got a basic melee mechanic implemented into the game. At the moment, it's all reliant on animation notifies and things like that, running in animation montages. Honestly, for these next couple days worth of recording, I was in a bit of a hurry, so I kind of forgot to look through the blueprints on them. But generally speaking, it just plays a montage, and there's some notifies going on, telling it when to enable and disable collision and stuff like that. Actually, in the breakable base blueprint, there's a little bit of logic going on right here. There's nothing crazy, but this is what's printing those messages to the screen based on whether or not it is above or below its health. Yeah. Overall, super simple. It was a kind of a quick and dirty day to begin with, but productive nonetheless. Alright, so coming into day 11, I don't know if I had some good coffee or if it was just off of a weekend again, but I was crazy productive once more. As you can see there, coming off the heels of the basic melee system, I expanded on it in basically every possible way. You can see there I've got the new particle effect, and you can just fracture any mesh to make those particles. And right there you can see I have the new like smoke and damage effect. Did do some like a once over, as you can see, just to expand on some of the functionality and make things more consistent across the board. Generally speaking, a lot of it is still functionally the same as the day before. It was a lot of Niagara work and making things look and sound good today. Actually, let's go ahead and peek into that Niagara particle really fast. Yeah, so here you can see it's just 3 simple emitters. One for the smoke, one for the damage effect, and then...
What was the third one?
Oh, the particles. Yep, the particles that fall out. But yeah, generally speaking, not super exciting per se, but there was a lot of successful back-end work that I was really excited about. Okay, so coming into day 12, honestly, I only had like 2 hours to work, but in those 2 hours, I got a fully functional combo system, as you can see, and you can see there that little trail that I got on there. I feel like it turned out pretty good. Again, more anim notifies and things like that. The trail is a Niagara ribbon renderer. But I did actually open up the blueprint here so you can take a look and see how the actual combo, or the original melee system works, as well as the combos. So whenever the player actually melees, I'll pull it up, it's right up here. It just checks if they're meleeing. If they are, it sets the save melee flag, which on an anim notify, I'll show you later on over there. But on an anim notify, it will run that line of code that basically interrupts the original one and or the original section of the montage with a different section. Here, I'll go ahead and open up for you. And you can actually see the full montage. There you see I've got all the notifies in place, and for like the collision, as well as the trail effect and the combo. But yeah, all in all, I had no idea what I was doing going into this day. Today, I feel like I really learned a lot and came out pretty productive. Alright, lucky number 13. So, today, I got a lot of polishing steps accomplished, actually. Right away, you're going to notice as soon as I click in here, we have a cane for Sly. Yeah, look at that thing. It's so beautiful, so perfect. I actually got a hold of the people that are going to be making art for me, and one of them made a cane. And right there, you see, I also made the coins. I modeled them. The coins I modeled myself. I'm so proud of it. Look at that simple little golden thing. And you can see there, they do disappear if you don't collect them up fast enough. There are a few smaller tweaks that I need to make, but just kind of doing the quick down and dirty, I feel like I got them pretty close to the coins in the Sly games. I did, of course, make it so you get fewer coins if you haven't fully destroyed an object, but once you do fully destroy the object, it'll give you a larger burst. I do not have the actual HUD at the moment. That's why you see in the top left that I just have debug text keeping track of the coins. HUD is a weak point for me. I will definitely jump into it as more very soon. And here we can actually like take a look at the coins and see what's going on. So this is actually the base pickup class. So I can also put the health packs in there as well, and they'll behave basically exactly the same. Pretty simple stuff. Again, I know it looks complicated, but it's mostly just using timelines to animate all the stuff that's happening with the pickups. There's a bit of physics simulation going on at the beginning that allows the coins to be launched kind of in a random pattern, but then the rest of it, like I said, is mostly all just this timeline stuff that you see up here. I did try and make it, again, as expandable as possible. I think I did a pretty good job with that. Overall, though, today felt, again, like a very good day. I got a lot of things accomplished in, overall, not very much time. Alright, let's finish strong for the last day. Jumping right in here, you'll actually see, bam! I made myself a HUD. I did actually draw that HUD myself. It is as close of a recreation as I could make to the original one. Right now, I do only have the HUD actually tracking the health, but there's a little death animation and everything. But yeah, I feel like pretty good way to round off the 2 weeks, you know, give it a little bit more character, a little bit more pizzazz. First off, if you're still here, I just want to say thank you so much. I don't expect many people to find this video, and if you're here right now, thank you. I genuinely cannot put into words how much I appreciate it. If you liked the video, leave a like down below, and honestly, if you didn't like the video, or if there was something I did wrong, let me know in the comments so I can do better next time. I am super excited about this project, and about being able to share it with everybody, and this is just the beginning. I have so much more planned, and so many more things that the ball is already rolling on. Speaking of which, I just want to take a quick second to shout out my artists. Definitely go check out their channel. It's called Twisted Heights. I'll link it somewhere up above over there. But awesome animators. Go check out their work. A lot more of their stuff is coming soon. Just as a treat, though, for making it through this entire video, I want to give you a little sneak peek at this terrible thing. Run.